Welcome to Pages and Pods. This podcast will begin a series about Rudolf Steiner's book, How to Know Higher Worlds. I need to give a brief disclaimer. I am not an initiate, nor do I profess to have deep spiritual insight. I read this book twice and believe it to be a reliable roadmap to knowing higher worlds. Creating podcasts allows me to visualize Steiner's words in greater depth. In a way, I'm inviting you on my personal journey of discovery. This is a good time to click the subscribe button if you want to know when the next podcast comes out. Now, let's begin. Chapter 1 is titled How to Know Higher Worlds. This is your planning guide for the rest of the book. The path to spiritual insights begins with reverence, inner peace, and moral self development, awakening latent capacities within each person. Steiner emphasizes that esoteric knowledge must be pursued with humility and selflessness. He also points out that you must seek out a spiritual guide, an initiate. Consider your choices wisely. For example, years ago I began reading many different esoteric books. I found that Rudolf Steiner explained a clear path to understanding the spiritual nature of reality. I appreciate his directive that to truly know higher worlds, the seeker must live each day in reality. The path to initiation requires you to let go of the structures that let you feel safe in the mundane world of false familiarity. Also, you can't read your way into spiritual worlds. The path can't be experienced through mental games or vicarious observations. However, you have to be informed. Reading is essential for understanding. I've read many books by Theosophists, Kabbalists, Neoplatonists, and even in esoteric Judaism, but I wasn't able to apply my knowledge. I've sought out different teachers, both in the physical world and online. Whether or not the teaching had truth or value, they have given me more discernment. Be sure to do your homework before beginning your tutelage under a master. Chapter 2 is titled The Stages of Initiation. Steiner outlines 3 stages: preparation, illumination, and initiation. This path of discovery will lead the seeker from soul training to awakening spiritual perception. Each stage is flexible, allowing progress in some areas while continuing preparation in others. Understand that it is the responsibility of an initiate to guide a seeker and grant them knowledge when they are ready. Be wary of programs or apps that tell you that after 10,000 hours or so of study, you automatically become something like an arahant. You either are or you are not. You'll know when the time comes. Chapter 3 is titled Initiation. After developing yourself and your spirit, you may be ready for initiation. You will gradually be given access to knowledge and develop spiritual skills to see past the illusions of life. The initiate learns to perceive spiritual realities through disciplined inner development. This is a great responsibility and also comes with many dangers. You become aware of unseen forces, and those forces are now aware of you. Chapter 4 is titled Practical Considerations. Spiritual training must harmonize with life, cultivating balance, moral strength, and presence of mind. The aspirant, that is, the seeker, must remain grounded, avoiding extremes and illusion. Your way of seeing the world will change, but your personal and financial responsibilities don't go away. Chapter 5 is titled Requirements for esoteric training. Just like building a house, you need a strong foundation. Students must develop qualities like calmness, patience, and inner truthfulness to progress safely on the path. These virtues form the foundation for spiritual perception and self transformation. Chapter 6 is titled Some Effects of Initiation. Initiation alters the soul organism and brings visible changes perceptible to clairvoyance, making your character flaws and virtues spiritually apparent. When you look into a mirror, you see not only your physical self, but the entire karmic picture of your I. You must become conscious and understanding of yourself for true spiritual growth. You are going to know the eternal you, the individuality carefully wrapped up and concealed behind all of your illusions. Chapter 7 is titled Changes in the Dream Life of the Esoteric Student. As development progresses, dream life becomes more structured, reflective of spiritual realities, and can offer intuitive insight. This transformation deepens the link between the spiritual world and waking life. Steiner explains the importance of mastering your dream life before it takes over your waking world. Chapter 8 is titled Achieving Continuity of Consciousness. The student works to maintain awareness across waking and sleep states, gradually becoming conscious during the sleeping state. This leads to the realization of the soul's ongoing spiritual activity while in the dream world. Chapter 9 is titled The Splitting of the Personality in Esoteric Training. Advanced spiritual practice reveals distinct soul forces like thinking, feeling, willing, which may separate in perception. In ordinary life, thinking, feeling, and willing blend seamlessly into one personality. In advanced spiritual practice, they separate into distinctive and even conflicting traits. The splitting of forces demands self mastery to ensure harmony and prevent psychological imbalance. Chapter 10 is titled The Guardian of the Threshold. The seeker encounters the lesser guardian of the threshold, a spiritual being formed from the initiate's own unresolved karma, moral failings, and unconscious habits. It appears as a living mirror of everything the student must face and transform before safely entering higher worlds. Often grotesque or fearsome, it stands as a warning that spiritual vision cannot be attained without full self knowledge and responsibility. This being warns that the spiritual path now requires self responsibility for actions once governed by destiny. Chapter 11 is titled Life and Death, the Great Guardian of the Threshold. Beyond the lesser guardian lies the greater guardian, representing our true spiritual being and the consequences of past deeds. The greater guardian of threshold represents the initiate's higher self, the ideal spiritual being they are meant to become, whereas the lesser guardian reflects their lower self, the sum of unpurified instincts, karma, and unconscious habits. The lesser warns of what must be overcome, while the greater reveals the full weight of moral responsibility across lifetimes and affirms the sacred task of integrating spiritual insight into earthly life. This meeting unveils life's invisible causes and affirms the importance of earthly existence for spiritual completion. This concludes this introduction to knowing higher worlds. If you like the podcast, click on the like button and subscribe. In the next podcast, we will begin a detailed analysis of Chapter 1, examining the first 10 of the 33 points Steiner insists we must evaluate before beginning our journey into higher worlds.